Hi, welcome back. In this episode, we are going to talk about the very important, the very magnificent family meeting. Now, if you've never had a family meeting before, you are missing out because it is the easiest and the most direct way to get everybody on the same page. When you have multiple people in your family with different activities, different requirements, schedules, needs, it's very easy to lose track of everything, and winter lives in those crevices where uncertainty is, or when things just miss each other, two ships passing in the night. That's where winter lives. So getting everybody on the same page is critical to be on top of things that are brewing, so winter storms that are approaching can often be found before they even hit your family's doorstep. But also to get everybody aligned, moving forward week by week, to live out the family of your dreams, really, right? To get everybody on the same page, to be sharing the same goals, to be working towards, the same outcomes, to be checking in on how everyone is doing before things get too big. On your worksheet, it really is something that you can put on a clipboard and hang in your kitchen, or put in your mudroom, or in the hallway down by the bedrooms. And it's for kids to start collecting their thoughts. So there are a number of things that they could check off. For example, they could decide they have something they want to share, or they have something they want to discuss, or maybe they need help with something, or, and this is always the critical one, something they wish was different. When you have a child who wishes something was different, that means that there is an opportunity for winter to creep back in and paralyze your family because somebody is unhappy. There are unmet needs, or there are, ruptures happening just below the surface and you haven't seen them. So a family meeting is a fantastic way to get all of this out in the open and have everybody join together to go through an agenda, like an actual meeting agenda. And I think a couple of things happen in family meetings that make this so powerful. One, you focus on the family, right? So with a focus on the family, it's not one person against another person against another person. It really is, how do you build a collective unit that stands for things, that celebrates each other, and that works through problems together? Because remember when we looked in winter about how your family, when you were growing up, dealt with conflict, right? However they dealt with conflict, oftentimes it wasn't in the greatest way. We can do it better, right? And if your family dealt with conflict in an amazing way, you can still do it better here, right? We have technology, we have information, we have resources that your parents didn't have 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So however you experienced conflict, know that you can break that generational experience and do it differently. And family meetings is one of those tools that helps you do it. So in the agenda that I have here, we have the very first thing is to start off with appreciation, celebrations, and gratitudes. So really set the stage that this is a place where love lives, right? That this is a place where we celebrate each other, we recognize the great things that happen in our week, because this really is a weekly thing, or every 2 weeks, but not longer than that, because then things bubble up and storms can come in. Things that might need your attention. So maybe it's something you've noticed, or maybe it's something you've heard your kids talk about during the week. But what needs your attention? And that doesn't mean that something is broken and somebody needs, a lesson or some punishment. No, it just, there's something I've noticed. We're having a really hard time at bedtime. So we're going to do things differently. We're going to have, we're going to try a new thing. Right? So whatever needs your attention, this is kind of where you put it out there and start collecting other people's thoughts. Because if your kids are older than, 4 or 5 years old, they have thoughts, right? They have opinions, they have ideas. And so you can Start to extract those ideas and work those in so that they're a contributing member of the family. Because when it's one person's family and everybody else is over here and one person or two people run everything, there isn't going to be opportunities for a lot of summer days because there's disconnection in the hierarchy. Right? So hear what they have to say. They might have really great ideas. They might think things that you never thought of, right? Tap into the collective genius of your family. You will be surprised. Sometimes they come up with amazing ideas. The family meeting is also a time to kind of check everyone's calendars, like what's coming up, what are events, maybe there's a dance meet, maybe there's a soccer tournament, maybe there's a banquet at school and you need to send in some cupcakes. Just check in with what's going on, just logistically, so that nothing gets missed. Because sometimes it's that you signed up for something at the school 3 months ago and it's on Tuesday. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot possibly do that thing on Tuesday now. How can I fix this? How can I either send something in, buy something, ask for somebody to help me? How can I do that? But Tuesday morning would be a really hard time for you to solve that. Also, it's an opportunity for your kids to request meals or snacks or kind of get involved in the day-to-day running of your family life. So in terms of pet care or food planning or homework help or science projects, any of those things that are just more of the logistics of running the family unit. Getting on the same page with everyone and seeing what they want and what they're craving, and then how you can build more rituals of connection, more points of connection with them. And then oftentimes it's helpful to think of one issue that everyone can work on that week. So it may be a characteristic like respect or kindness, right? Or it could be something a little bit more tactical, like, we will always leave a space cleaner than when we arrived. Or we will put things back where they belong. Or, we will contribute, to do this special project, right? So we're gonna build a garden in our backyard and we're all gonna contribute to planting the seeds or whatever it is, right? So you pick an issue or a project and you collectively decide that this is how you're going to spend some time this week. It doesn't always have to be these big involved things. Sometimes it can just be very small things, but just get them into the habit of recognizing that contributing to the family is really in everyone's best interest, right? So that when they get to a point in their life where they're like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of this family, deep down they know that they are a part of this family and the family runs better with them and they feel better because they're in this family. So it really is planting seeds for them to feel connected for a very long time. And then oftentimes I always recommend my clients, end the family meeting, which should be no more than 15 minutes, especially with, up to teenagers for sure. They don't want to pay attention that long. End with a family fun activity. So that could be a nice treat. It could be going out to the park. It could be throwing a football in the backyard. It could be a board game or, putting on some music videos. It could be Pictionary. It could be anything like that. But the idea is that you end on a fun note so that they have good feelings when they leave the family meeting, that was time well spent. They feel good, they feel connected, they feel love, and they can go off to do their other evening activities. So I really hope that you institute a family meeting for your family. I think there are many ways to do that. It could be done over brunch on Sunday mornings because everyone is always there for brunch, or it could be Sunday nights, before you start the week. It's definitely easier to do it on a weekend for most families because during the week, it's so unpredictable and there's so many things going on. So find a time that really is a calmer, more relaxed point of time for your family and find the 15 minutes and just get into the regular habit of having a family meeting. You'll start seeing changes right away.